Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. This is the Hardline Transport Solutions Outlaw Truck Series taking on the Roval at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is going to be an exciting one for sure. The twisty, turny road course located inside the oval here at Charlotte Motor Speedway always offers some great racing. We're looking forward to a fantastic race here tonight. Sorry for a little bit of a late start. There's a little problem with the session, but we got about 2 minutes left here in practice. Let's take a look at our points coming into tonight. And up at the top of the board is Corey Hines. Mike Kosick sits back in second. Jonathan Cofield, Andy Kurtz, and Steve McDonald, your top five. Private Hubbard sits back in sixth. Logan Monteith in seventh. Brandon Pollock, Billy Bigley Jr., and Tyler Barnett, your top 10. Then Matt Telder, Greg Froelich, Matt Kleeman, Jared Reed, and Brett Bieber make up your top 15. But tonight's going to be a wild one for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing how these drivers are able to navigate this twisty, turny road course that we know as the Roval. Of course, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching us on Facebook, on YouTube, and Twitch. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to us. As we had about a minute left in practice, let's take a look to see who's out there on track. We see Adam Lang making his way down to the backstretch chicane, currently second fastest here. Jared Reed up at the top of the board with a blazing lap of a 1:23.12. Lang with a 23:33, and Kurtz just went one faster with a 23:20. So some competition up there tonight. We know some of these drivers are amazing road course drivers. We should see the likes of Adam Lang, Andy Kurtz, Mike Kosick, who's up and fourth. Jonathan Cofield showed some speed last week at the Red Bull Ring in the Grand National Series. So look for that again tonight as who can navigate this tricky road course. We'll throw the track map up there for a minute so you can see the shape of the layout of the track. And one of the toughest parts of the track, we see Brandon Pollock turned around here off of turn number one. One of the toughest parts of the track is that backstretch chicane. Both chicanes, really. The chicane on the backstretch and the chicane coming off of NASCAR 4 really make it a tricky track to get around. As qualifying is about to get underway, we'll look for see who one of the first drivers is to get out onto the track. Looks like Andy Kurtz, one of the first drivers out on track. So 17 turns around this tricky track. Especially that hard chicane on the backstretch. See Kurtz coming up on the NASCAR 1 and 2, which is actually turns 9 and 10 on the Roval. Down the backstretch and here into what I think is one of the best passing zones, but the trickiest corners. Turns 11 and 12, the backstretch chicane. Down through NASCAR 3 and 4, or turns 13 and 14. And then down into the front stretch chicane, turns 15, 16, and 17. Because you do come off of turn 4 with a turn, then you come down into this tough chicane. And of course, coming to take the green flag, coming down into the Tums Heartburn turn number 1. You come up the hill, there's a lot of elevation in this road course as well. You don't really notice that, but you come up the hill, down the hill through turns 1 and 2. Turns 3 and 4 are kind of off camber, very flat, a lot of runoff room here to the left here as you see Kurtz coming all the way out to the grass. Then you start coming up the hill. It's a really blind corner as you come around it up the hill. And then you come down through turn 5 there, up through turn 6. So a very challenging track for sure. Let's see if we can ride along with someone for an entire lap here. Looks like Adam Lang just coming down the backstretch into the backstretch chicane and almost misses it too. You really want to avoid those turtles right there. Those are those big curbs there. They can spell disaster. You get up on there, you can really damage your truck, or even lose control very easily. So watch for those drivers to avoid those as much as they can here tonight. Down into turn 1 and 2, back up the hill towards turn number 2. Down the hill towards turn 3, which again, very flat. A lot of runoff room here as you come through turn number 4. A little off camber there as you come up through turns 5 and 6. You see we're going uphill. A lot of runoff room. You take as much of that apron as you can there. Then down the hill to turn 7. Back onto the NASCAR track. That is turn number 8. Making our way through turns 9 and 10, which is NASCAR 1 and 2. And into the bus stop chicane on the backstretch, turns 11 and 12. A lot of bit of turtles right there to help that truck turn. Again, turns 13 and 14, NASCAR 3 and 4. Up to turn 15 to the left here, down by the entrance of pit lane. And 16 and 17, this front stretch chicane. And that's one lap around the Roval done by Adam Lang, and that's actually going to put him up in the 7th position. See Mike Kosick just making his way down to the front stretch chicane through turns 16 and 17 and across the stripe. And Kosick on his second lap is going to go P3 currently. Corey Bigley makes his way down through the... Oh, you see the damage on the right side of that truck. He's been up in the wall. I don't know if this lap is going to count because he was up into the wall. And, yeah, he does not have that lap counted, unfortunately for him. Bry Hubbard out on track. Just about to finish his first of 2 laps. Currently up into the 7th position. A lot of drivers choosing not to qualify here tonight. So far, only 11 drivers have taken time out of the 19 drivers who have registered for the race. Through the backstretch chicane, back up towards turns 13 and 14. Fry Hubbard makes his way down towards the start-finish line. 3 more turns to navigate, turns 15, 16, and 17. And he's going to come across the line. He's going to improve his time a little bit, jumps up into the 5th position. course, we got about 3 minutes left here in qualifying. Of course, again, we want to thank everybody who's joining us, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. We do appreciate you tuning in here tonight. Again, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out our great partners here in the Rebel series. We've got some great sponsors in the Outlaw series. Excuse me, some great sponsors that help us put the show on week in and week out. Our main sponsor, Hardline Transport Solutions, Cofield Asphalt and Refinishing, Intensity Broadcasting, Peg Leg Felts, Thunderstruck Super Series, and Kinder Farm and Ranch. Of course, we also have some great partners of our own here at Intensity Broadcasting, such as Race EPI. For the best racing setups and driver coaching, check out raceepi.com. And of course, one of my personal favorite partners of ours, which I can't stop talking about, and that is Butt Kicker. It's an established and trusted leader in haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker haptics lets users feel low-frequency sounds. The brand of products used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers worldwide. Butt Kicker's patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamers Plus is the one that I have, and it's the new and upgraded sim racing gaming haptic that reproduces accurate, powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. Check out the full line of products and figure out which one's right for you. Check out thebuttkicker.com. Especially on a road course like this, it's really neat because you can feel every single bump as you go around the track. You can feel the rumple strips as you go over rumple strips. If the tires start to lose grip, you can feel the shake, the gear shifts. So definitely an awesome immersive piece of equipment. You can check out thebuttkicker.com and see which one's right for you. Well, it looks like we've got about 45 seconds, less than that now, about 30 seconds before we grid them up here at the Roval. We get ready for 35 laps around this tricky and unique road course here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Don't forget to join us after this one's over. That's a great look at those turtles right there, just how high they really do protrude off the ground. Don't forget to join us after this one's over as the Original Rebels Racing League Sunday Night Truck Series, brought to you by Whole Heating and Sheet Metal, take on the Roval for 35 laps themselves. So a doubleheader here at the Roval. It's going to be exciting, so don't leave after this one. Check it out. That one's going to go live right around 10 p.m. Eastern. Let's take a look at our starting grid tonight. And of course, let me get the logo on the screen, because your Peg Leg Pole Award winner tonight will be the 5 of Andy Kurtz. Jared Reed is going to roll off from the second position. Jonathan Cofield, he'll start third with Mike Kosick in the fourth position. Fry Hubbard qualifies fifth. Jonah Colbert back in the sixth spot with Brandon Pollock. In seventh, Corey Bigley will roll off eighth. And then back in row number 5, the 8 of Adam Lang and the 4 of Kai Shappett. Tyler Weeks, he'll roll off from the 11th spot with 12th belonging to Travis Bieber. 13th, Matt Kleeman. And 14th will be Brett Bieber. Todd Schott rolls off from 15th with Matt Telder in 16th. Greg Froelich qualifies 17th. Steve McDonald way back in 18th. And Brandon Wallace will be at the tail of the field here tonight at the Roval. So the field makes their way for their one and only pace lap around this long Roval road course. Shouldn't say it's too long. It's 2.28 miles. but it's treacherous. You've got some really tricky corners, like here, the off-camber turn number 4. The uphill and blind turns 5 and 6. The chicanes, both chicanes, the backstretch and the front stretch, are going to be treacherous as well, especially on these restarts. So watch out for that to happen tonight. We won't have any wreckage rewind tonight, so while we are talking about it right now, let's not forget about our great sponsors over at Kinder Farm and Ranch, who offer up the wreckage rewind every week. With this being a road course, there will be no caution, so we do want to give credit where credit is due with the Kinder Farm and Ranch wreckage rewind. That was the wrong button. So the field making their way down onto the backstretch. So we got about a half a lap to go before we get green flag racing here at the Roval. As we get ready for the pace truck to make that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. And Andy Kurtz going to lead him down to the green flag. They will be restarting. Half the field will be restarting back there in the chicane, so that just makes these starts very tricky. Green flag is in the air. We're racing as the field races down into turn 1. Andy Kurtz is going to get out in front of Jared Reed. Mike Kosick stuck on the outside of Fry Hubbard as they come off of turn number 2. But Kosick's able to sneak out in front of that 14 machine. Gets him into the 3rd position. Matt Telder, Kai Shappett battling back here side by side. And Telder is going to take that position as Fry Hubbard has a hard-charging Jonathan Cofield right behind. Adam Lang battling side by side with Tyler Weeks. They make their way up onto NASCAR. It's turn 1 and 2. Through turns 9 and 10 they come. We mentioned that this would be one of the best passing opportunities here. You see Cofield right on the back bumper. Fry Hubbard, who gets a little loose, gets a little wheel hop. Able to get that truck under control, though. You saw that wiggle out of that 14 machine. That's always a helpless feeling. As we see the 8 of Adam Lang taking a look underneath the 82 of Corey Bigley as they come down into the front stretch chicane. See if Lang tries to outbrake him as Bigley really throws a defensive move, but Lang, misses the turn, goes off track. Bigley spun it himself. He's down on the inside. And we'll have to see how much damage that did to that 8 truck going over the, the 44. Tyler Weeks spins right there in front as well. How much damage that just did to that 8 machine as we see the 44 just stopped here. And a very, very blind position as well. Tyler Weeks gets that truck refired and re-rolling here right in front of the 71 of Greg Froelich. So Adam Lang up into the 9th position. One big mover through the field already is the 7 of Matt Telder, up 8 spots from where he started and just tearing through the field right now. Steve McDonald up 7 spots currently, up into the 11th position. So a couple of big movers so far through the field. We already saw a couple of people spin, so we see some people losing some positions here as well as Andy Kurtz continues to lead up front. And he has a second lead over second place, Jared Reed, to make their way down onto the front stretch chicane. See Mike Kosick back there as well. I know you heard me mention wheel hop before, and what that is when you get into the corners, especially with these, get these trucks to turn, you want to run a little bit extra rear brake around this road course. Well, sometimes when you downshift and you don't have the RPMs matched properly with the transmission, it's really easy to get those back tires to start to hop and lock up. Sometimes it can be done under braking if you lock up the rears just a little bit, but 9 times out of 10 it's during a downshift. And that causes exactly what it is. The wheels start to hop and skip across the pavement, and when that happens, you just lose all grip. So we'll be watching for that in both races here tonight. We see Jared Reed letting it all hang out, trying to run down the 5 of Andy Kurtz, and if he keeps that up, he's not going to have much rear tire left on those and that truck to try to propel himself towards the front. Yeah, we'll see him come off of the final turn. You see that truck got a little squirrely there, trying to get that power down, trying to run down the 5 of Kurtz, and he's staying right there with him as well. He's not letting him get away. That interval has been about a second now for the last 2 or 3 laps, so he's kind of just hanging tight right now, trying to keep pace with Andy Kurtz. He just cut into Andy's lead just a little bit, as Andy might have overdrove turn number 3 just a little bit. So now he's back in to within a half a second of the 5. We've seen the 7 truck when trying to get the power down in some of the slower corners. That back end really wants to kick out from underneath him, so he's really trying to get the power down to run down that 5 machine as they come down into the chicane. We'll see if the same thing happens again as they... Well, that time he's much smoother there through that chicane, and he is now right on the back bumper of Andy Kurtz. Todd Schott back here having some issues. He just went off track. Let's see if we can see what happened to the 00 coming up the hill, and he had just really easy to do that. Misjudged the that turn right there because it is such a blind corner. You see the battle up front still going on. Andy Kurtz still trying to hold off Jared Reed, who's still about a half second back, and then they got Mike Kosick, who's a half second back as well. Then it's 4 seconds back to 4th place Jonathan Cofield and Jonah Cobert. So 4 seconds from Jonathan Cofield to Jonah Cobert, and then 4 seconds. I'm sorry, that's 2 seconds back from there. But up front, these 3, for a road course, pretty much under a blanket, with Andy Kurtz, Jared Reed, and Mike Kosick. Adam Lang making his way towards the 7 of Matt Telder, running him down after having that excursion there with the Turtles. Doesn't look like it did too much damage to that machine as he's able to continue on, as we got a battle heating up for the lead. Andy Kurtz now has Jared Reed right on the back bumper. Reed is looking for that opportunity to outbrake that 5 machine and take that position away. And this isn't really a good place to pass up through this technical section uphill, off camber. But you get in these heavy braking zones, like into NASCAR 1 and 2 here. It's definitely a good place. As we see Corey Bigley having some issues. Looks like he's back rolling now. Let's see if we can see what happened to the 82 machine. And coming down into the Tums Heartburn turn. Oh, just loses it on braking. It's a little bit of that wheel hop I was talking about before. Kurtz, though, able to stretch the lead just a little bit on Jared Reed. The interval is now back to about a half a second. Reed is not letting up. Reed is really good through that front stretch chicane. That's where he's making up a ton of his time. Through there and up through turns 1 and 2. He loses a little bit of time in this real technical section through the infield. Oh, we see Kurtz way out of control, really hard on the throttle. Gets a little squirrely there. Comes up the hill. And I think that might have spooked Reed just a little bit as they come up on the lap truck of Greg Froelich, who gets up and out of the way. It doesn't hinder the leader's momentum here. We have some issues. See Brett Bieber having some issues here. This is up into, this looks up into turns 5 and 6. And now he's just letting drivers out of the way as he knew that they were just a little bit faster. See a battle back here as Telder just made his way around Bry Hubbard. That moves Telder up 9 positions up into the 7th spot. Now he's got about a 5-second gap between him and the one of Brandon Pollock. Let's see if we can run down that one machine. But he's having a heck of a run right now up into the 7th spot. But the battle up for the lead is still going on as Jared Reed does not want to leave Andy Kurtz alone. Up on the NASCAR 1 and 2. And down the backstretch into, like I said, one of the best passing opportunities on the track, this heavy braking zone down through the backstretch chicane. Especially using the draft to come off of NASCAR 2 and get that run down into that chicane. You can see some great passes right there, as well as right here on the front stretch chicane as Reed now stocks that 5 machine right there off the back bumper. Reed tried to take a look there, but just was not able to sneak around. And now they're side by side up through turns 5 and 6. But Reed right there on that back bumper, trying to find that place where he's just a little bit better to get around Andy Kurtz. And here comes Kosick now. Excuse me. Runs a little wide there, but he was making his way up into the mix here as well. He had caught Jared Reed and was trying to make a move there that he was not expecting, because he's been focusing out that front windshield. and not really looking what's going on behind him. Oh, we got cars on pit road. We see the 31 of Jonah Colbert making his way down pit road. A lot of damage to the left side of that truck. Don't know if this is for fuel and service or if this is because of damage. As we see back up front, Andy Kurtz still battling with Jared Reed. Steve McDonald currently running down the 114 of Travis Bieber. And Jared Reed has gotten around Andy Kurtz, and let's take a look at the pass for the lead. Ooh, Kurtz runs wide. That allows Reed just to kind of sneak on by. So that off-camber uphill turn got the best of Kurtz and let Andy Reed, Jared Reed got by. Now Andy Kurtz completely missed the bus stop. We'll take a look at this one again, going down into the backstretch. Oh, caught too much of those turtles there, and that got him way out of shape. That allowed Mike Kosick to move up into the second position. So now Kosick going to try to run down Jared Reed. He was almost at Jared Reed's back bumper earlier. And now he's about a second and a half back. See Jonah Colbert on fresh tires now, running down the 68 of Steve McDonald. He's easily going to get around Steve McDonald on that fresh rubber. And everybody else on track right now kind of spread out. Jared Reed, your leader, he's got almost a 2-second advantage over second place Mike Kosick. Then Andy Kurtz, 3.5 seconds back behind them. Jonathan Cofield, another 4 seconds back in fourth. Brendan Pollock, 3 seconds behind Cofield. We got to go all the way back 7 seconds to the 7 of Matt Telder. And another 4 seconds back to Fry Hubbard. So really, the only two cars are anywhere as close to each other right now are Jonah Colbert and Travis Bieber, and that's because Jonah's got that fresh rubber and he's able to make his way through the field just a little bit quicker. See, he can really cut underneath that 114 to take over the 10th position. Makes me wonder if anybody else is going to make their way down onto pit road anytime soon, because I do not believe they can make it to the end on the fuel that they have in the tank. As you see Corey Bigley running down Steve McDonald down into the front stretch chicane. And McDonald really starting to struggle 11 laps into the race. Ooh, Todd Schott having some issues here. He's looks like he might have missed the backstretch chicane completely. We'll take a look at the replay. Yeah, just completely blew the chicane right there. As Corey Bigley's gotten around Steve McDonald. Now Tyler Weeks in the 44. He's trying to get around that 68 machine as well. Ooh, almost gets in the back, almost uses the bumper to get through, and issues for Kai Shappin. Whoops, let's see what happened to Fry here. Same thing we might have just saw with Todd Schott, just blowing the back stretch chicane. And I don't know, same thing we saw Andy Kurtz do, caught too much of that turtle and spinning it around. Brandon Pollock running down Jonathan Cofield. Battle for 4th place. And Jonah Gobert finding that 4 of Kai Shappett. Again, those fresh tires, you can see the difference that they make. So he's easily able to go right around that 4 machine. We can see by throwing up the track map here just how spread out the field really is. You can see really no real battles going out on the track. We'll take a look at Jared Reed. He's just coming down into turns 1 and 2. See that 68. Wasn't the 68. Saw one truck that's got the closest battle on track is the 58 and the 1. They're separated by just about a second. As we have just 22 laps to go here at the Roval. See Jared Reed continuing the lead and starting to extend his lead over Mike Kosick as well. Don't know if they're trying to save fuel and tires to try to make it to the end without pitting, but their lap times have dropped significantly since the drop of the green flag. Reed's best lap was a 1:23.22, and as I said, Andy Kurtz makes his way down on the pit road, so our first leader to come down pit road. But Reed's best lap was a 23.22, and his last lap was a 25.76, so quite a bit of speed difference from the drop of the green flag to what they're running now. Almost 2.5 seconds of fall off. So lap 17 would be basically the halfway point of the race. That's what I imagine. We might see more people come down pit road, trying to split the race in half if they can. So Brandon Pollock trying to run down Jonathan Cofield. A couple great views of the racetrack from what would normally be the pump up the intensity cameras, but because there's only a couple of trucks here, we're really not going to run it as a pump up the intensity. Mike Kosick now on pit road. Kosick got a little bit of damage to the right side of his truck as well. Adam Lang making his way down pit road. We know the damage that he received from jumping the turtles earlier, like he was one of those Duke boys. And that gives Jared Reed a 12-second lead over second place Jonathan Cofield. Though Brandon Pollock is running down Cofield, he's been running quite a bit faster. Last lap, he ran a whole second faster than Jonathan Cofield, so he's starting to make his way to the back bumper of that 58 machine, and I imagine he should be able to run him down and pass him here in the next couple laps. Jared Reed, though, turning the afterburners back on. Last lap, ooh, you really see him slide that truck around. Last lap, he just ran a 24.99, which was a full second faster than his previous lap, as Brandon Pollock now makes his way down on the pit road. A couple drivers already out of the race. Brett Bieber, Brandon Wallace out of the race. So Pollock on pit road getting his service done. That leaves Jared Reed out there again, 13 seconds in front of Jonathan Cofield, who runs in second. We'll see if Jared Reed makes his way down on the pit road this time, or if he tries to stretch it just a little bit further. Down through the backstretch chicane. And turns NASCAR 3 and 4. And here he comes, Jared Reed down on the pit road now. So that's going to give the lead to the 58 of Jonathan Cofield, unless he makes his way down on the pit road this time. So it looks like he will. So Matt Telder up 13 positions up into that third spot is going to take over the lead, unless he decides to come down pit road this time. Nope, he's going to stay out here and lead a lap. Andy Kurtz all over the back bumper of Fry Hubbard. Again, Kurtz on a little bit fresher rubber. So he takes a look down and gets around easily with those fresh tires. See Mike Kosick and Jared Reed now. Running almost nose to tail after they had quite a bit of separation on track, and that's what pitting a little bit early is going to get you, as that allowed Kosick to put down some blazing laps to catch and into that interval that he had with Jared Reed. Matt Telder, your leader, coming down the backstretch towards the chicane. He's got the two leaders coming up behind him, as they have already pit. He has not. They are technically in second and third place, so if they were to get around Telder here, they will take over the lead. Telder, though, stays out another lap. And Jared Reed all over the back bumper of Mike Kosick, so battle of the Jack Daniels machines right here behind our leader, battling for what will be the lead when Telder goes in, or if they get around Telder. Which, with that fresh rubber, should be pretty easy for Kosick and Reed to get right around that 7 machine. Kosick takes a look down underneath Matt Telder. He's going to take over the lead. Puts a little separation between him and Jared Reed, with Matt Telder in the middle. Oh, Kosick blows the chicane. Kosick's going to have to slow down here and tuck in as Reed gets around Matt Telder. That's going to put a ton of distance between Reed and Kosick. Wow, what a unfortunate turn of events here. can Mike Kosick regather it and get caught back up to the 07 of Reed? See Fry Hubbard now down on pit road, getting his service done. When we cross the line next time, we'll have just 15 laps to go. So Kosick's gotten around Telder. Right behind we see Andy Kurtz as well. So Andy Kurtz is back within 3 seconds of the leaders as well. He pit much earlier than both Reed and Kosick. We'll see if that plays anything here as Telder now makes his way down on the pit road. So Jared Reed now with a 3-second advantage over second place Mike Kosick. After Kosick had that issue down into the bus stop on the backstretch. Overdrove the corner and lost a ton of time. With 15 laps to go, will there be enough time for Kosick to get that rhythm back and drive back up to the back bumper of Jared Reed? See a battle here as Steve McDonald has Travis Bieber going right on by in that 114 machine. So that's going to move Travis up into the 11th position as he's got a 7.5 second gap between him and 10th place Kai Shappett. Of course, we want to thank everybody for joining us here again, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. We do appreciate you coming out here tonight, spending your time with us here on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Let us know who you're rooting for here as the laps wind down with just 14 laps to go. Chat's been awfully quiet tonight. I see you guys are out there watching, so Jared Reed, though, putting down some blazing laps. He just ran his best lap of the race last lap, ran a 1:22.84. And that is the only truck in the race that has broken into the 122 range. So, in regards to that, Mike Kosick running in second just ran a 1:24.14. So, almost a 2-second difference between first and second place lap times. Josh Oswald says 99 in last. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. You know, I said last week after all the comments I made at Talladega, I wasn't going to razz Brandon Wallace anymore. You know, with it being a road course, I know he can't bring out any yellows, so I really can't talk much about him here tonight unless he does something either really, really good or really, really stupid in the next race. I was waiting for Oswald to put up kill the 99 in the chat, but said he just said it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Ooh, Tyler Weeks has some issues here. Let's take a look, see what happened to Weeks here as he was coming down onto the front stretch chicane. Oh, a little bit of wheel hop, catches those turtles. Misses the other turtles, keeps it off the wall. Does a great job saving that truck. Trying to keep minimum damage to that vehicle, and that's exactly what he was able to do there. So he's able to get the truck righted and into the right direction. And again, Jared Reed now with a 5-second lead over second place, Mike Kosick. And if we can see from the blimp here, if we can get a look to see exactly what 5 seconds looks like on the racetrack. They come down into the chicane. And you cannot see Jared Reed on the... so here we go. Jared Reed just coming down to the back front stretch chicane. And through that chicane and to the start-finish line. And we see Kosick just making his way through that chicane now. So quite a bit of gap. And, ooh, a couple of trucks having some issues here. As we see Tyler Weeks having some issues yet again. Or is this the same one? Nope, this is the same one. But Todd Schott having some issues here. We see Todd Schott coming down to the backstretch chicane. He's got Jonah Colbert right behind him. And he just lets Jonah right on by. So not really an issue there. Here's Steve McDonald having some issues. Oh, he catches those turtles and loses control. Almost catches that inside wall. And right behind him, we saw the same thing happen to Jonah Colbert. Down into the backstretch chicane, and I think he saw Steve McDonald do the same thing. I think he was trying to avoid Todd Schott. So all three of them having some issues there on the backstretches. Mike Kosick now is 6.5 seconds behind Jared Reed. They're better in the latter part of your statement for the next race. That's Josh Oswald talking about getting the 99 or the 99 getting killed in the next race. Again, with road course racing, cautions are off, so we know he can't cause any cautions. But when we cross the line next time by, we'll have just 10 laps to go here at the Roval. But it looks like real NASCAR is using up all those cautions that we would normally have here on iRacing here tonight. I think they're working their 20th or 21st caution at Texas here tonight. I haven't had a chance to watch the entire race. I've caught glimpses of it. It looks like there's been a lot of tire problems and yellow flags coming out there tonight. So if you're looking for green flag racing, tune in to Intensity Broadcasting for the Outlaws and the Rebels here tonight. Jared Reed making his way down onto the front stretch chicane. Down through turns 15, 16, 17 across the stripe. We have 10 laps to go as he makes his way down through turns 1 and 2. See Jonathan Cofield running up on the back bumper of Brandon Pollock. This is a battle for the 4th position. Cofield running down that one machine. As they make their way off of turn number 4 and up the hill through turns 5 and 6. Down the hill to turn number 7. And up to turn number 8, which brings you back on to the NASCAR track. Lap truck of Greg Froelich staying up and out of the way to keep from impeding the progress of the 1 and the 58. And Jonah Colbert had some more issues here. See what happened to Jonah. Down into the front stretch chicane. Jonah just missed his braking zone completely. Does a couple of donuts and gets his truck facing the right direction and back into the race. Ooh, Cofield completely disappearing on my screen for a moment. Charles Stevens says the NASCAR race is never going to end. You know, it's looking like that almost. I know my local short track, they have a time limit. They have to be done by a certain time. I know NASCAR doesn't have that. Even F1 has the time limits there. But we're not going to see that tonight. As I think they still have like 25 laps to go. But here, we have just 9 laps to go. Jared Reed making his way towards that front stretch to have just 8 laps to go here. And he can be on cruise control as he has almost a 7-second lead over Mike Kosick. See Fry Hubbard starting to run down the 31 of Jonah Cobert. You know, Jonah had that issue where he just locked up the brakes, then had to spin the tires to get facing in the right direction. He might have a little overheated tires, and that's allowing that 14 to catch right up. And then Brandon Pollock and Jonathan Cofield continuing to keep about a second between them. The gap keeps going up and down as Jonah Cobra makes his way down on the pit road. I think he made those tires incredibly angry. He's making his way back down. Either that or he did pit pretty early. I think he was one of the first trucks to come down pit road. We see the damage on the right side of that machine as well. I don't know if that's new or if that was from earlier. So he's going to put tires on that truck. I think those tires on that truck are just about gone. With 7 laps to go here at the Roval. Jonathan Cofield now to the back bumper of Brandon Pollock. He's able to try to outbrake him down into turns 15, 16, and 17, but just not able to get there just yet. Can he make a move down into turn number 1 as they make their way up into that real technical section of the infield? Again, not a great place to pass, but a great place to set up the pass. You can stay right on the back bumper through this infield section and be on the back bumper when you come off of turn number 8 to be able to draft. Oh, Cofield makes an aggressive move through that off-cambered turn number 6 and 7. What a move that Cofield just made. You normally don't make passes there, but he was able to get it done to move himself up into the 4th position. And a very long pit stop for the 31 of Jonah Cobert. He's still out on pit road. Been there almost 2 minutes now, so I think he might have caught a turtle and had some very serious damage to that 31 machine. So with the laps winding down, we're going to have 5 laps to go when Jared Reed crosses the line here. No real battles out on track, although Brandon Pollock is trying to fight back to the back bumper. And oh, issues for Kai Shappett. Let's see what happened to Kai in that Minions machine. Oh, really caught that turtle. And launched that truck off the turtle. Mark Cofield says 58 needs to get on the wheel and drive. And Jonathan up on the wheel. He putting down some good laps right now. Just ran a 1:26.18. He has a little connection issue there, but just ran a 126.18. In comparison, the truck in front of him ran a 126.07, and the one ran a 27.44. So he's right there with everybody else. Matt Kleeman having some issues. What happened to Kleeman here? Looks like he just locked up the back tires getting into that chicane. Was able to get that truck righted in the right direction up over the turtles twice. As Jared Reed up onto the NASCAR part of the track. Down the backstretch towards the backstretch chicane, which we've seen be a tricky section for a lot of drivers here tonight. As I mentioned, both chicanes were going to be treacherous, and we've seen just that here tonight. And Jared Reed coming down to the front stretch chicane to bring it to 4 laps to go. Currently has a 10-second lead over second place Mike Kosick. And from Kosick back to Andy Kurtz is another 12 seconds. That big gap out on the track there. Jonathan Cofield, though, not too far behind Andy Kurtz. Only 3 seconds. And starting to run down that 5 machine just a little bit. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to catch Andy Kurtz, but he's going to try like hell to get up there. You see Cofield just coming off of turn number 2 as Andy Kurtz was entering turns 3 and 4. And Brandon Pollock back here as well, falling away from the 58. Jonathan Cofield still respectable, though, up into the top 5. Now these trucks are on some much older tires. We'll run along here, right along here with Andy Kurtz. We'll listen to how he's driving this thing. You might hear some wheel spin. Down into second gear through the backstretch chicane. Up in the third. Up in the fourth. Heavy braking here. Well, I take that back. He was down in the second gear now, so heavy braking down for the chicane. Up in the third. Back down to second. So a lot of shifting that these drivers are doing as well. See him hold second gear all the way up through turns 3 and 4 as well. He might hold second gear all the way up. Ooh, we see it's Travis Bieber off the track. Up in the third. Back down to second. See just how blind that corner is. You really don't see the apex of the next turn until you are pretty much at the top of that hill. Again, up in the fourth gear. They come down the backstretch, drop all the way down to second. Gives a good idea of what these drivers are dealing with tonight. A couple incidents on draft. We'll start with Travis Bieber here. We saw him off the track right in front of the leaders a moment ago. And that off-camera turn just got the best of him as he loses it. Doesn't collect the wall, though, able to get it slowed down. Matt Kleeman having some issues here as well. Up through turns 5 and 6. just loses it. Catches that inside wall, and oh, Jonathan Cofield having some issues here. We see Brett Bieber, who is a lap down, right behind him as he makes his way down. Yep, we've seen that before, just over the turtles. Doesn't make too hard a contact with the wall. Another issue for Matt Kleeman. Jumps the turtles there on the other side. Cofield having another issue here down into the front stretch chicane. Just completely missing that chicane. Has to slow down to keep from getting a time penalty. But we got 2 laps to go. White flag now in the air. Jared Reed, with a 12-second lead over Mike Kosick. Adam Lang having some issues going off track. And Cofield issues yet again, but he still has a pretty big gap over 6th place, so he's looking for a top 5 finish here. Jared Reed makes his way up to the NASCAR track off of turn number 8 through turns 9 and 10. Half a lap to go here for Jared Reed. Down into the backstretch chicane. Really doesn't have to push it hard as he has plenty of time. He could pretty much coast here to the end as Kosick is still 12 seconds back through NASCAR 3 and 4. Down to turns 15, 16, and 17. And Jared Reed is going to win here at the Roval here at Charlotte in spectacular fashion across the line. Mike Kosick just coming off of your final chicane and to the stripe to come home second. Andy Kurtz through turns 13 and 14 through the front stretch chicane. And Andy Kurtz is going to be your last car on the podium. Brandon Pollock comes across the line sideways. And Jonathan Cofield does have Matt Telder less than a second behind. This is a battle for 5th place, and Cofield is going to take home 5th place. Matt Telder in 6th. Adam Lang just coming off of NASCAR 4. And he's going to bring it home in 7th. Bry Hubbard bringing it home down in 8th. And we see Kai, who's had some tough run here tonight for Kai. Just making his way down through the backstretch chicane. He's got the race winner in front of him doing his cool down lap, his victory lap. And Kai is going to bring it home in 9th. But Jared Reed, again, your winner here tonight. So he's going to take out the cones right there. And he's going to celebrate his victory, even though I think Kai may still be on his final lap. Yep, there goes Kai by, and Kai's going to ram into the back here to start the Rebels Demolition Derby a little early. There's Brandon Pollock into the mix here as well as the 07 comes down to the stripe. He's going to try to celebrate now. He's got some damage. We see the motor smoking. He's going to try to burn it down until the engine blows. But an impressive run for Jared Reed, who also has a fantastic Mississippi mud flap there. We're going to take a look at the overall results. Again, Jared Reed getting the win. Mike Kosick, Andy Kurtz, your top three. Brandon Pollock, Jonathan Cofield. Round out the top five. Matt Teller comes home sixth. Adam Lang in seventh. Fry Hubbard, Kai Shappett, and Corey Bigley round out your top 10. Travis Bieber comes home 11th. Steve McDonald in 12th. Matt Kleeman back in 13th. Tyler Weeks in 14th. Todd Schott, Greg Froelich, Jonah Colbert, and Brett Bieber round out the rest of the field. We saw Brandon Wallace also bring it home last. Did not turn a lap, so I think he might have just been doing a little race control, and I'm not sure what happened there, but coming home at the tail end of the field. But let's get ready to talk to our top three here tonight. Starting with our third place finisher, Andy Kurtz. Andy, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Gotcha, man. What's up?
Man, I know coming into this week, we talked last week, you weren't really all that excited for the Roval, but come home in third. Great race for you tonight. What was the track out there? It looked like it was a bit slick. Some drivers having a little trouble keeping it on track. You had that early pit stop, and that kind of worked out in your favor, I think.
Yeah. I should have wrecked about 20 times tonight. It was really slick. It felt really good on new tires, which is why I pit it. But now I don't really practice too much and you know know too much about road course racing, but um, yeah, I was just trying really hard to keep Jared behind me, but I really burnt my stuff up on those first 10 laps. But it was a lot of fun, so it was cool. But then I decided to pit a little early, and figured I'd just try to save my tires a little bit better that second run than I was on the first run. I was like locking up my right front and pretty much every braking zone. So try to do a little bit better the second run, but now Jared was really, really, really quick, and so was Caustic. So yeah, it was cool. It was a lot of fun.
I don't know if you know this. You're not giving yourself much credit here. The fastest lap of the race was run by Jared Reed. He ran a 1:22.84. The
All
second
right.
fastest lap of the race was a 1:22.86 run by you.
All right. Well, hey, I'm good. I mean, I qualified well. I'm good for like a lap or two on new tires, I guess. But yeah, I don't know how to manage them clearly. But
But
that's
I mean,
cool.
you weren't too far off. So a great run for you here tonight, man. Next week we end the regular season, and it's been a wild one for sure. Looking forward to the race next week. I forget where we're
Yeah,
running.
yeah, yeah.
Las
I think we're at
Vegas.
Vegas. Yep. Yeah, Vegas is a good track. That was the championship race, I guess 2 seasons ago. I got my championship in. So yeah, looking forward to that one. It's a cool one for sure. Night race too. Love night races, so it should be good. And yeah, I'm excited to kick off the playoffs here too. A couple of good tracks in there. Hopefully, I don't get knocked out like I did last season. But make it to Atlanta because I think that's a pretty good track for me. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
For sure. Looking to get your second Outlaw championship. But Andy, before we let you go, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, man, just you. Every week, as always, good, awesome broadcast. Excited to watch this one. Being a road course, a lot of good racing all around the track. And Hardline Transport Solutions for sponsoring our series and all of the admins here that help us do this.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the podium, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again next week as we move on to Vegas.
All right, hope so. We'll see you.
Have a good night. That was your second place finisher, Andy Kurtz. Let's bring in your second place. That was third place, excuse me, Andy Kurtz. Let's bring in your second place finisher, Mike Kosick. Mike, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, a great run here tonight. Come home second. It just didn't look like you had anything for Jared there. You were able to catch him and run him down there. And I saw that incident you had where you ran through the bus stop. Did you burn up your tires a little bit after that, or what happened there?
Um, nah, he was just faster than me. I tried running hard there after he got by me, and after about 3 laps, I was just content with second because he kept pulling away and I was pushing, and I didn't want to push into a mistake.
Yeah, and one of the you being one of the more road course masters here in the series, knew you were gonna have a good finish, and man, just doing what you could to manage out there. Was tire management a big key to the race here tonight?
Um, yeah, it definitely felt like well, to me anyways, the rear tires burned up if you got too aggressive on corner exit early in the run. So just kind of had to manage that and drive smooth.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the podium. Good points night for you here tonight. Before we let you go, anyone want to thank any shots you got to give?
Yeah, thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Hardline Transport Solutions, Cofield Asphalt Finishing, my teammates at Bandits Motorsports, and Matt for putting on a series.
Perfect. And I know we move on to Vegas next week. How do you like your chances at that little 1.5-mile track?
Not the biggest fan of 1.5 miles, but just try to go out there and get a good run, I guess.
Yeah, just get some momentum going into the playoffs again. Congratulations on the podium, Mike. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thanks, man.
So that was your second place finisher, Mike Kosick. Let's bring in your winner here tonight. The driver of the 07 machine and probably the best mullet I've seen in a while, Jared Reed. Jared, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Josh, I got you.
Man, great run here tonight. Dominating performance here at the Roval. You, the first half of the race, you kind of just hung out there and just kind of learned what the drivers in front of you were doing, and then you turned on the afterburners after the pit stop. What was the difference between runs 1 and 2? It looked like you might actually burn your tires off a little bit on that first run. I saw you pretty sideways the first half of the race.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to save tires, but trying to stay up right there with Andy, and I could see it seemed like he was maybe slipping a little bit more than I was, and so once he made a mistake, I could get by, and then I thought I messed up when Michael short pitted and got around me, but then he got caught up with another car and kind of opened the gates for me to go on through with fresher tires.
Now, I know this track is incredibly tricky, especially with all the off-camber and the blind corners there. Especially those blind corners. I saw a lot of people going off up at the top of the hill there. Did that concern you at all? Maybe coming across that hill there and just not being able to see anybody there towards the end of the race?
Oh yeah, I mean, every lap is just a little bit sketchy here. You never really feel comfortable the whole race, so it was always on edge.
For sure, and those turtles can come out and bite you. We've seen that a couple times here tonight as well. But man, a great run tonight, getting yourself a win, and in dominating fashion as well. Before I let you go, anyone you want to thank? A shout you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, man, we just want to thank you for broadcasting this, and Hardline Transport Solutions for sponsoring the league.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats, and we move on to Vegas next week. How do you like your chances there?
I don't know. I haven't quite had the speed on the 1.5 miles, but we'll see if we can hang out up front for a little while.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats, and we look forward to talking to you soon, and hopefully you have a good playoffs as well. Carry this momentum into the playoffs.
Good. Thank you, Josh.
Have a great night. So that was your winner here tonight, Jared Reed, dominating here at the Roval. Again, we got the Rebels trucks coming up in about 45 minutes, so you're not going to want to miss that. It's going to be exciting as well. So tune back in here. We'll get the stream back up here in about a half an hour. So join us back here tonight. We want to thank all of our great sponsors that make this league possible. Of course, Hardline Transport Solutions, Kinder Farm and Ranch, Cofield Asphalt Refinishing, Peg Leg Felts, Thunderstruck Super Series, all pitching in and making this series possible. Of course, we want to thank our personal partners as well. The Butt Kicker, you can check that out at thebuttkicker.com, as well as Race EPI for setups and coaching. Check them out. Links are down below in the description. Also, I forgot to mention, don't forget to check out our web store at intensitybroadcasting.com. That helps us out as well. And you can help out Atman's racing career as well, as he's got his hats, t-shirts, different things supporting his as well. Our novelty t-shirts, our best-selling t-shirt, the Cautions Breed Cautions t-shirt. So you can check all that out at intensitybroadcasting.com. Again, congratulations to Jared Reed with the win here tonight. We look forward to calling the next one in about a half hour. So join us right back here. And as our boy Atman Weiss would say, over and out.